Welcome to the Signal 50 podcast. I'm your host, Bravo. I'm here with Alpha, and this is a Signal 50.
Play it again, Sam.
There is no sound right now that needs to be heard except that right now. We are in a Signal 50.
Why did they step on the gas pedal with the tyranny? That happened really quickly, didn't it?
It almost was too quick, especially with the events from yesterday. I want to say, or 2 days ago. They didn't wait 2 seconds to start throwing the issue with insurrection and sedition, and I believe that comment that we hear from Dan Bongino quite often is, if you hear the Dems tell you that you are doing something, it's really that they're doing it. So I'm just gonna let it boomerang back to them.
Well, the virtue is the crime with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's unbelievable. First of all, they're trying to impeach the president with 13 days left or something like that, or 12 days left. And they're talking about filing criminal charges against President Trump in D.C., the district attorney or the state's attorney in D.C., the federal attorney. I don't know the particulars of it. It's just, okay, I need to slow down a little bit because this is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And it happened in the period of 3 or 4 hours. You had General Flynn got deplatformed. Sidney Powell, President Trump,
Lynn Wood,
Rush Limbaugh,
Dan Bongino,
you name it. They took Parler. The Parler app is no longer available in the Apple Store, nor is it available in the Google Store. That's a really unique way of censoring it, isn't it? They've just pulled the support for that app off the platform. So if you have an Apple phone, you have an Android phone, it doesn't make any difference. The app doesn't work. You can still access it through the browser for now until they figure out a way to shut that off.
On Tucker tonight, the operations chief, or the not the CEO, this was a woman who works for Parler. If they took the servers down, they're done. And you have to ask yourself, where the hell are the contracts? What gives them the right to start pulling things down like this? This is crazy, and this goes against. You want to talk about unconstitutional? This is the First Amendment, people. The freedom of speech. What the hell's going on here?
I have less of a problem with a YouTube, with any platform. I have less of a problem with them deplatforming somebody than to preemptively deplatform something that they have no involvement with. You know what I mean? The main carrier just decided to shut off a service.
Yep.
For what reason? I have no idea. Because we don't like you.
So I was listening to a couple of reports today on the Twitter, everyone's Twitter, anyone that has conservative leaning tendencies or even talks about what's right or the Constitution gets yanked. We're not big enough. I guess that's a blessing in disguise, maybe. But we're under the radar. They don't know who we are. We're not prominent. We keep ourselves hidden.
But we did get fact checked in the last broadcast.
Yeah, we got
in the middle of the broadcast.
Yep. We're not saying that the election was not certified. I'm not going to say it was a good idea to certify it because there's questions out there, but we're not calling it anything else other than a certified election. Okay, big deal. YouTube, that's it. And we all stick to Rumble. That's our main source, but if the servers go down, or they're trying to do a sneaky cancel culture approach, meaning people that have banking, PayPal is starting to restrict people. There was a conservative thought leader that had their PayPal taken down, and they said, we're severing ties with you. They're going for blood. These libs are going for for everything to silence us. And this is what tyranny is. And that's why we felt we had to jump on here and tell everyone to hang tight. I don't know what's going to happen. This is one of those, like I was telling another show, right, Alpha? I hate saying wait and see what happens. Now I'm really saying I hate to see what's going to happen. We need to do it.
Right. Well, and this is a Manichaean fight for our way of life. I mean, this is not good. For the first time in my adult life, I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I can't see a future past tomorrow for this republic, the way things are unfolded today. I'm tough. You're tough. We're Americans. We're tough. We've lived through a number of different problems in the world. Okay. We've persevered. We've been attacked. We've been dragged through the mud. But at the end of the day, we were Americans, and it just doesn't feel that way anymore.
No, and they think everything's going to come together. They're talking about unity. You got Michelle Obama running her mouth that President Trump should never have any access to social media ever again. Who the hell does she think she is? I don't care who the freak she thinks she is. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Well, she's the first lady again, because, what just happened was her husband just got his third term.
Ass. Total wanker. Obama is back. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, he was not a good president. And I think they did some very bad things. And like I said, everybody, let's back up for a second. Hey, thanks for tuning in. There's a couple listeners out there, and I know we're going to get some listeners after the fact on Rumble. Mm-hmm. Everybody's up in an uproar. Everybody's hair is on fire. That's it on our side of the fence. Tonight, people are freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't blame them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I went onto our Parler account.
It's locked.
It spins out. Well, it's
the servers are crashed.
They're well. I have a theory on that. I mean, it still works. I'm still getting alerts, but I think when this is just what little research I've done on this. What ends up happening is the cache, that request, because Parler has been shut down, because Facebook's been shut down, because all the social media, Parler was claiming we're the alternative, and then the entire world just decided to go to Parler,
right,
and crash the server.
Right, it's a demand issue.
Yeah, it's a demand issue. So I'm not sure what protections. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to have these servers and all this other stuff. So if they contracted with someone that's going to back out on them, I hope to God, when Dan Bongino bought into this, I'm sure he saw this. I know he planned for this contingency.
Hey, if little old dumbass me can call you on a Wednesday afternoon and say, hey, we need to do a podcast, and I think we should call it the Signal 50 podcast. What does Signal 50 mean? It means distress.
This right now. What we're seeing right now.
Right here. If dumbass me can see this coming, you better believe somebody like Dan Bongino and somebody like all the other bigger brains out there than us saw this coming. Okay, that's why they started moving their home to Parler and Rumble. Like
Mark Levin said.
Mark Levin, absolutely. Dan Bongino.
I dumped Facebook. I said I'm done. I disconnected it. And I use Twitter as an aggregator, but there's nothing there left there I want to see. It's ridiculous. But in our experiences, the biggest thing that you do in any type of emergency is you take a second, you check your pulse before you check the patient's pulse, and you say to yourself, all right, airway, breathing, circulation. Next, you just take each step at a time, and there's a certain deliberative pattern, or if there's a fire going, you just take that moment and you say, what do I got to do? And let's do it. And you come up with a game plan on the spot. So I have to have faith that someone has a game plan here somewhere.
Well, my old expression is walk, don't run.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that too. You'll get hurt.
Walk, don't run.
Right.
And this is one of those situations where we need to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I got to get something off of my chest. And
Please.
I'm going to put it out there. And it's going to sound distasteful, but everybody needs to just take a deep breath and understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not belittling what happened on the 6th as far as a Capitol Police officer passing away, dying. And I'm not going to belittle the fact that an Air Force veteran was dead. Nobody wanted to see that. Everybody is so busy denouncing the violence and all the nonsense that happened. Instead of pointing to the true facts of the situation and covering their own political asses, they've backed away from the president. They've shunned him. They put him in a corner. Even the Republicans have turned on him.
Everyone's
Everybody has turned on this man. He did not do this. This was a setup from the word go, and it worked. And it's a damn shame.
Except
and all of the Republicans that set this man up and don't stand behind him, and they don't want to fight for the truth and what's right. They're only fighting for their own political careers and to line their own pockets. They can kiss my ass.
Mm-hmm.
I will spend the next 4 years railing against them at every opportunity. They need to go.
Yep.
I wrote a piece for our blog, and we put it up last night. And I encourage everybody to go to signal50.com and read the piece that I wrote last night in the commentary section.
It was actually I think it was a day ahead of its time. Like when you wrote it, it was that good.
Yeah, unfortunately, my crystal ball is in good tune.
I hate it when you're right. I really do.
Yeah, I would be happy to be wrong. I'm very rarely wrong.
I know.
Because I'm a pessimist. And that's the luxury of being a pessimist, the luxury and the curse of being a pessimist. You're very rarely wrong. And because it's going to go wrong, it's going to break bad. And it broke bad.
Mm-hmm.
The 6th broke bad.
Yep.
Nobody wanted violence. It happened.
But
why? Reasons. And those reasons will become apparent at some point soon.
Mm-hmm. How far? What there are certain patterns that I've been seeing people's videos that before Twitter started shutting everything down, and when before Parler glitched and everything, there are videos and testimonials about the police helping or the people just kind of being let in, posing for pictures. There's no real trying to keep them out. They're kind of like taking him on a tour. And this is not the first time the Capitol's been under, quote, siege, which it really is not a siege. You know, there was no gunfire, well, except for that Air Force veteran. We're sorry. But there was no hostile takeover like you saw in Olympus Has Fallen, where they took the White House, that movie. But people are, posing in the chair. They have someone stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop. I don't know where that went. But it's
oh boy, what I wouldn't give to have my hands on that bad boy.
But again, there's got to be it's moving too quickly and too perfectly. And there's too many people that are just turning the other way and saying, well, we thought it was going to happen, but it doesn't comport. It doesn't fit the facts. The president never mentioned anything in his speech. I've read the transcript of his speech. Nothing was in his speech about going up there and taking everything back and being violent. Not at all. On the contrary, he wanted everyone to be peaceful and we let the process work. And it wasn't until 5 minutes before the end of President Trump's speech, when Pence, that traitor, didn't do his constitutional duty. And I'm starting to see some other things why, and we'll get into it on Sunday. I wanted to, I've been doing some research and I picked up some stuff. It's crazy. The truth is out there. And we at the Signal 50 podcast are the ones that present it to you, and then you decide.
we encourage everybody to be free thinkers. Okay. We would like to put out some information, and we hope that you glean good information from what we say. We're not going to pretend not to be partisan. We are, absolutely. So do yourself a favor, do us a favor. When you hear something that we say, go figure it out for yourself. Go read, go dig deep into an issue, spend some time with it. You're all very smart people. Our listeners are very, very smart people. Okay. We're not going to treat you like the media does, right?
Not at all.
No.
And again, we
I'm
started
disgusted.
the podcast in September, Alpha, for the very same reason, so that the discussions that we have and had over many, many years over the telephone, where we talk about current events and realized what we were saying kind of made some sense, and let's share it with everyone else. And we have the technology now to do it. And as long as we have this platform, and as long as we're able to do it, we're going to do it. And the only way they're going to stop us if they shut it all down. And then they're going to really have some problems on their hands, because there's an uprising coming. Peaceful, but a storm is coming. And people
I really hope it's peaceful. Okay. We don't. Violence is not acceptable. Okay.
No, it's not. We do not condone violence.
No, it is not acceptable. If you read my,
let me say it again for the YouTube out there. We do not condone violence.
Not of any kind. Political violence is not acceptable. Period. When you start, oh, hey, Drew Bradley. I know what Drew Bradley was doing right before he got here. Anyhow, political violence is not cool. It's not good. We should be able to have a free flow and exchange of ideas in this country. We're in a situation right now. This feels like 1936, 38 Germany.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't there. I read about it.
And, we were forced to learn about it ad nauseum, right?
Yep.
And I got to tell you, this has got the same kind of feel to it.
You know what's sad? Right now, if you were to look in the schools and see what they're teaching our children right now, they're not learning what we learned. I remember spending more time, not on the battles of World War II and everything else. We learned about the political environment that happened before the war and all the different things that were happening before the war started. And when, like I said, when we have more time, we just wanted to get on and start talking, because things are kind of going to hell in a handbasket. But we wanted to get on tonight and share some of our initial thoughts and let everyone know out there we're with you. But we learned the events that happened up leading to a war and why it happened, so that we wouldn't make those mistakes again. And guess what? It's all happening all over again.
That's right.
It's a bunch of fascists are running around in the disguise of congressmen and senators
and tech giants
who think they know better than me and you, Alpha. And God, you know what? That's not the case.
It is not the case. We're at the burning book stage now. You've got people having publishers cancel their books because they're on conservative topics or they're conservative authors.
Josh Harley, the senator.
Yeah. He had his book. Simon & Schuster canceled his contract today.
So is it time that we start practicing a little bit of boycotting on ourselves?
Absolutely. Conservative boycotts generally work, okay?
Right.
Because we actually have money and we spend it.
Right. And we don't forget.
And we never forget. Here's the thing. We're burning and banning books.
It's ridiculous.
We're censoring free speech. We're persecuting people
by canceling
that were participating in a peaceful protest or a peaceful rally. Not just the people who the idiots, I hate to say it, who entered into the Capitol building and caused all sorts of trouble. No matter whose side they're on, I don't care. Okay, that's when they did it in Wisconsin, and when they did it wherever they've done it, in Minneapolis, Wisconsin, Portland, whenever they've done it, we've denounced all of that. Always in our conversations. It is not the thing to do. Don't do that kind of shit. And they did it, and I denounce it now as well. Okay? Not cool. But they're taking it a step further. There's people in Congress that are demanding that the FBI and the Capitol Police identify people at the rally, whoever they can, from all the camera footage, from out on the grounds, because we have facial recognition software. They want to put everybody on lists. Don't fly, no fly, no buy lists, etc., etc. So we are witnessing Nazi Germany in America.
I'm offended. I am totally offended.
I'm sickened.
Yep.
I'm absolutely sickened by it.
Well, what is their word? Triggered? They can take their trigger and stick it up the wazoo.
Well, I'm not triggered. Pissed.
Yep.
You know, my family fought to defend this country when the call went out in World War II. My grandfather, my uncles, my great uncles, both of my grandfathers. Shit, even my grandmother worked for the war effort. My grandmothers. My family supplied the meat that the soldiers ate in World War II. We worked for the war effort in my family. We fought for the war effort in my family to free the world from these kinds of people. And now we're apparently under their thumb, and it's getting really scary.
One other thing, I think we'll take a deeper dive on Sunday when we get some more information. But I really truly believe, and you mentioned this, and so did Delta the other night, that President Trump was not on anyone's plan that they were going to win. There's things I'm going to share on Sunday, that some emails that went around that were obtained that have the vice president's name on it. He was supposed to be running for president. He wants to be president. And President Trump came out of nowhere. Thank goodness. He's done a fantastic job. That deep state and the central banks, their plans to control and keep everyone on, it's like the Matrix. I'm going to go back and rewatch that movie again.
Yeah, you're nothing but a battery to them.
Just a battery. But you know what? President Trump came in and he gave it back to us. In his inauguration speech 4 years ago, he turned around and he said, the transition is coming not only from one administration to another, but the transition is coming from the government back to the people. He has always put the people first. You never hear him say me, I. He says we, he says you. And that's President Trump. And that's why I respect him so much. So we're going to get into the deep state, and we're going to get into a little bit more about the central banks and how this whole world economy and the globalists and the suppression of money is basically leading for them to take the desperate steps, because President Trump has actually interrupted the entire thing.
Yep. Absolutely. He wasn't supposed to win. They had a plan. He interrupted their plan. They're pissed at him. They threw everything in the kitchen sink at this man.
And he's still not done yet.
He's not done yet. I think he's not going to be president for the next 4 years. I mean, I think that's a foregone conclusion at this point. However, he's got a couple of punches that he can throw.
There is one last thing, and we're seeing it. Again, depends on how far you want to go down a rabbit hole. But if you look at what Congress has done, Senator, the Vice President, everyone that's turned their back on President Trump, there's some loyalists there somewhere. We're not seeing them, but there are loyalists there. And he still has that executive order that is just talking about influences from foreign governments, and there's a rush. If you look at what's going on, why the rush to impeach him with 2 weeks left? Nancy, really? Are you on drugs? Are you drunk?
Well, Lindsey Graham says that they're not going to entertain it in the Senate, but I got to be honest with you. I'm not so sure that I can trust Lindsey Graham.
No, and I can't trust up Chuck Schumer either.
Oh, well, he's I trust Mexican tap water more than I trust Chuck Schumer. Okay.
I mean, Vice President Trump did us all a favor, and he said, we're not going to use the
Pence.
I'm sorry, Vice President Pence is not going to use the Article 25 or
25th Amendment.
25th Amendment against the president. Thank you very much for nothing there, Vice President Pence.
Right.
Anyway, so why the rush? Why are they in such a rush to get him from, they had Nancy talking about the fact that doesn't want the president anywhere near the military, having control of the military anymore. Why? Has he done anything to show that he's unsound or uncanny? Look at Biden. You really think that guy has any marbles left to understand what the hell's going on anymore?
Well, this is all a move, and I think we all know it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nancy's really pissed off because all those people invaded her office. Rumor has it they shit in all of her desk drawers.
Well, we must confirm that, but I think that's quite funny there, Alpha. Thank you very much.
Oh, what's that corn doing in that drawer? I don't remember putting that there. Anyhow, yeah. No matter how not funny that is, that's still funny.
We need a little laugh. We have to.
Yeah, it's a little despicable that somebody would shit in Nancy Pelosi's desk drawer.
Not.
But if there's anybody in the world that deserves it, it's probably her. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, she's just horrible. But listen, we wanted to put something out there tonight. I mean, everybody out there, there's talk of another political party being started because everybody that, myself included, I'm a little disheartened by the Republican Party.
I'm right there with you. The Patriot Party is.
Yeah, let's just hope it doesn't go the way of the Tea Party. Okay.
Well, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about that on Sunday also.
Well, I think these politicians are a little stirred up because the shit came to their neighborhood instead of somebody else's neighborhood that they don't care about. Like the little peons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. Not condoning it, but I can understand it. I can understand their reaction. They weren't quite expecting this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but you know what? I don't know. It's hard to wrap your head around it.
So as we're gonna wrap it up early tonight. We just wanted to get out there because we see what's going on. We recognize it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to do a little bit of research, soul searching, and see what happens. When it comes to Sunday, we want to try and see if we can find some reasons and do some analysis and see what the cause is. Because like anything else, what I remember from being in middle school and first year high school, we learned the reasons why things happened, and I think we need to try to start seeing what we can find. We're putting things out there and seeing what you think. Our audience, what do you think the reasons are that's going on? I'm sure we can come up with some of them, but we really are looking for your help too to kind of come up with some what we call problem solving and critical thinking.
Well, the one thing that we're going to really keep an eye on going forward is apparently Dominion Voting Systems sued Sidney Powell for $1.3 billion. Can't wait to see the discovery in that case.
Well, that you think they're going to get any? She welcomes it. I'm sure. Sure, let's have the discovery. Let's see your books in order to get the lawsuit going. Right? I mean, it's just that you're not going to settle. She doesn't care. She's got all the inside information. She wouldn't have done this if she knew that if it wasn't happening.
Well, I think they set the bar so high that they would scare her, and I don't think she's going to be scared.
she's gonna laugh at him and say, "Yeah, really, bring it, bring it."
Yeah, trial by combat. Anyhow, everybody, look, it's been a weird couple of days. It's been a sad couple of days.
It is. And yeah, I mean, my first thought is to kind of, get angry about it, which I am,
Yeah.
and try to
you have everybody has every right to be upset.
yeah, and want to fix it. I want it to be right. But on the other side of this, my heart's breaking. I'm even seeing it at work. In an office, when you're by yourself, you have to wear a mask. Why? Because other people are wearing, get this, an N95 and a paper surgical mask over it, because they're worried about COVID, and that's all they do is run around worrying about COVID. And I said, isn't there an immunization? Isn't there a vaccine out? And I said, it's my office. And if I choose to take the risk, what the hell? And I'm told, well, it's policy. You have to have one for sitting in your office. I said, it's my right, my body, my choice. Oh, they didn't like that very much. I guess that's why the policy came out.
Well, I just want to, I think we should wrap this up. It's a Friday night. It's late. It's been a long week.
Yep.
People are a little raw, and we wanted to put something out there. The thought and the premise of one man, one vote, man or woman in this country, one man or woman, one vote, is foundational to our republic.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a right assured to us by our founding document that, had to be amended a couple of times to make it better. And, and it is good. It's probably the most perfect foundational document written anywhere in the world, taking cues from a number of different documents like the Magna Carta and a few other places. That illusion is now out there for everybody to see. Your vote doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody not understand why probably over 75 million people in this country are really upset?
Mm.
You're living in a lie. You've been manipulated. You've been cheated.
Connived.
I think as we go forward, it will prove out that this was the biggest hoax and scam ever perpetrated anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be really interesting to see the reaction then.
And in which my inclination is you're 100% correct, and I'm not going to let them get away with it. Not going to let them.
Well, we'll have to see what happens.
All
and
right.
on that note, I'm gonna take us out of here. Bravo, thanks for wanting to do a show tonight. Real quick one for everybody.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
Yep, thank you very much for listening. As always, it's kind of tough out there right now. Keep your chin up, keep your head down, kind of sit tight, see what happens, and
yep.
And don't be rash. Be smart.
Be smart and try to just hang in there. Give Parler a couple minutes, but keep supporting it, because it's right. It's going to be a tough couple of days, I'm sure.
Right, it is. Everybody, as always, we'd like to thank our soldiers, sailors, and airmen for protecting us 24/7, 365, and our police, our firefighters, and first responders of all types.
Hey, make sure you follow us on Parler and on Rumble, and like I said, we use a live stream here on YouTube, not by choice, but by necessity. And with that being said, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. And Alpha, I'm going to take us out of here.